winning, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the Knicks Morning Vibe. Did you peep the change in the morning show? Partly because I want to continue having a morning show even when the Knicks are not playing in the off season. Anyway, what's the vibe this morning, Knick family? For me, it is pretty good. I can't lie though, it's hard for me to get excited for games like last night. I am so ready for the playoffs. The Knicks have clinched the 5th seed already. We know who we're playing. I'm ready for the playoffs to start. But it was good to see players, role players, get an extended opportunity to show what they can do. So last night was fun. Let's get into it. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now, the replay gang. I appreciate you. Look in the description. I've started a Patreon for those who want to support the channel other than super chats. The link is in the description. You can go. I think it's $5 a month. I'm going to do a lot of off-season content, but a lot of it is going to be members only. And when I'm on vacation and I'm not able to do video content, I will do audio content just for members. I'm going to Morocco in late October, so I'll probably miss the preseason games. I won't be doing video content, but for members, I will be dropping audio content during that time. And there's more to come. Anyway, let's get into it. All right. Just setting up last night's game. The Knicks came into the game 46-33, 5th in the Eastern Conference, 7-3 over their last 10, having won 4 straight. Indiana out of the playoffs coming into last night's game, 34-45 on the season, 11th in the Eastern Conference, 3-7 over their last 10. They lost 1 game. Emmanuel quickly started. Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, Randall was out. Brunson was out. RJ Barrett remained out for his 2nd game in a row. They started Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, the rookie, Aaron Naismith, Jordan Noora, I hope I said that right, and Jalen Smith. Halliburton was out for them. Turner was out for them. Duarte, who's been in and out of the rotation, was out for them last night. You know, let's start talking about the offense. The Knicks scored 139 points, right? 34 assists on 52 made field goals. I mean, Indiana is not a defensive juggernaut by any stretch, but you still have to play the game, right? You still have to score baskets, and the Knicks did that, right? 139 points without 3 of your 3 leading scorers did not play, and you were still able to put up 139 points. Quickly had 39. Grimes had 36. Obi Toppin had 32. The ball moved as it should, right? When you don't have your better players in the game, you don't have anybody other than Quickly where you could throw the ball to and say, yo, we need a bucket right now. Or you don't have anybody that has the gravity of a Randall or a Brunson who commands the double teams, right? And then that creates easy shots for other players on the team. You don't have that, right? So how do you get easy shots? You move the ball. The defender cannot move as fast as the ball. So you move the ball, and now you can get easy shots that way. And the Knicks did that. And obviously, I think they had 19 first half assists, I want to say. And I think that's a team record. I think the 34 assists for the game fell just short of, just short of the team record. But the strategy to move the ball, to get guys easy shots worked. But in order to get an assist, you have to hit the shots, right? And Grimes and Obi and IQ, they were able to do that. I thought Mitch was much more aggressive offensively. I think he played with some urgency, knowing our three leading scorers are out. He was, in the post, posting up in the middle of the key, asking for the ball, super aggressive on the offensive rebounds and the defensive rebounding as well. Him and Josh Hart and Isaiah Hartenstein as well did a really good job on the boards. We still out rebounded them despite, Randall, being out. I think we also took advantage of transition points and Obi. Again, you don't have players. Your three top scorers are out. How are you getting baskets, right? Guys are stepping up. You're getting them easy baskets, and you're getting out in transition. The Knicks average, I think, 12 fast break points. Last night they had 28, right? They almost tripled their fast break points because they was able to get out in transition. Obi Toppin, I don't even know if he leaked out early. He's just so fast. He's just able to beat players down the court, and they were able to find him in transition. I think what I was most impressed with, though, I mean, listen, we're talking about how well we played offensively, but Indiana was right there, right? After the first quarter, the Knicks scored 39 points in the first quarter. Indiana scored 28 points in the first quarter. After that, second, third, fourth quarter, both teams scored 100 points. The Knicks won that game, you could say, in the first quarter. Both teams scored 100 points after that first quarter, right? But in the fourth quarter, because I was just looking for something to get, excited about, the score was 118 all with, 5 minutes, a little under 5 minutes. Indiana was right there, crunch time. Let's see, how did the Knicks handle crunch time? And they did well. I think it was IQ scored a basket, Grimes scored a basket, Obi Toppin got 2 transition buckets. The defense tightened up a bit. We were able to get aggressive, get deflections, get steals, score in transition. Off of that, I was really impressed with how the Knicks scored, how they played actually down the stretch with 5 minutes left. Defensively, the defense was optional. It was still optional. They looked like the regular Knicks, scoring and giving up points. And I think at this point, we could just say the Knicks are not a defensive team. The Knicks are an offensive team. I think that the defense is okay. We play good defense in spurts. I think over the last 10, we're 17th, if I'm not mistaken, in defensive rating. I'm not sure where we are overall in terms of defense. Maybe we're in the top half, I would think. Top 15 team. We're an okay defensive team. But the Knicks are mostly an offensive team. Look at it. 139 points without your 3 leading scorers. Still put up 139. Okay, I get it. It was the Indiana Pacers. But still, right? That was pretty impressive. Another thing I liked seeing, and I'll check in with the chat after this, was just the growth in the player's skill set, right? Like if you want to say, oh, this was a G League team. Oh, I mean, listen, we were without our 3 leading scorers as well, right? I mean, if you take your top 3 players, off a team, it should be a struggle, right? The Knicks put up 139 points, it's all right, impressive. But anyway, you was able to see the skill set. Now, listen, for Quickly, we've seen Quickly's skill set the entire season. I don't think there was anything new with Quickly last night. Grimes, as the season went on, early on, it was more 3-and-D. Then we saw him attacking the closeouts, putting the ball on the floor. As the season went on, we saw on those closeouts when he put the ball on the floor, scoring at the rim, passing it off. But now I think we're seeing the past, 10 games, we're just seeing Grimes' full package on display. The defense, the shooting, the putting up, like he just has an all-around game. An all-around game. Like this guy is going to be really good. Now, if you think about last season down the stretch, quickly really came into his own. I'm not saying he didn't have a great season last season, but down the stretch, he really came into his own and he carried it into this season. Hopefully the same thing happens with Grimes. He's playing really well right now. He'll have the opportunity to play in the playoffs, also get a taste of that. And then hopefully next season, he takes that similar leap that, in my opinion, quickly took this season. And it was also good to see Obi's skill set. Last season, Obi, we talked about it. He can only play with quickly. He can only get out in transition. And after the season, I said, look, and he was hitting threes as well. I said, look, if Obi Toppin can get his three to a respectable level, guys are going to respect him, right? Now he'll have the opportunity to attack the closeout and put the ball on the floor. And you see the evolution in Obi Toppin's game. That step back three, footwork was a concern for me with Obi Toppin when he first came into the league. And you see his footwork is better as well, right? To be able to, drive to the basket, take a step back, you got to be coordinated to do that, and he was able to do that. So kudos for, Obi Toppin. I still don't see a path forward for him in terms of more minutes because he's playing behind Julius Randle, but it's not the first time. I don't have a lot of examples right now, but throughout the history of basketball, teams have had to make a decision on a player, right? A young player is up and coming, and so they move off of the veteran, or sometimes the players are close in age and they have to make a decision. And a lot of that decision is based on context, right? The Knicks are, I don't want to say they're a perennial playoff team, but it looks like it. 2 out of the last 3 years, I don't really see that slowing down. So the Knicks look to be like a perennial playoff team. A few tweaks of the roster or growth internally, the Knicks can be a championship contender in a few years. That also goes into the decision in terms of who do you sign. I just think that the Knicks are dug in on Randall. And I just think Obi Toppin probably deserves more than 17 minutes a game. And I just don't think he's going to get it here, stuck behind Randall. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Knicks do. I think he's up for a contract extension this season. If they don't extend him, he goes into restricted free agency, not this summer, but the following summer. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. And the last thing I want to comment on it, then we'll get into individual stats and team stats, is rest versus rhythm. Obviously the Knicks have the 5th seed clinched at this point, so it's easier to say rest players. And I do believe if you're nicked up, rest, right? I don't think Brunson's hand is 100%. You clinch the 5th seed, sit him. I don't think he needs physical rest because he's been out. He's been out 8 of 11 games. The Knicks also have I think their last game is the 9th, and their first game is going to be the 15th or the 16th. There's going to be plenty of rest there, right? So I don't know if it's that, much rest Brunson particularly needs because he's been out. But if you're nicked up, rest. But there's something to be said for having a rhythm, going into the playoffs. The playoffs is just different. It's just different. The game slows down a little bit. There's less transition points. You're playing tougher teams, so tougher defensive teams. So it's harder to get the things that you want to get on the offensive end. You got to work a little harder. You got to execute a little better. You got to be a little crisper. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in that environment. But rhythm matters. Right now with the poll, 48% says they would prioritize rest. 52% said they would prioritize rhythm. RJ has been out. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the playoffs. He should be rested. Randall is out. He should be rested. Brunson is out. He probably, I don't anticipate him playing in the next 2 games, right? So he'll be out. He's already rested. Let's just hope he's healthy. Rhythm could be an issue. We shall see. Anyway, let me check in with the chat, who are super active this morning. Don't forget to hit the like button. We got 57 watching, 18 likes. I just hit the like button. We got 19 likes. All right. Quiet Money. I appreciate you, my brother. Obi's footwork is still a concern. That Pacers team is not that good, even with their starters. Okay. Ashley Ingwan, Wiz, West Coast, appreciate you. Grimes, Obi, and Mitch showed more confidence and capabilities. Yes, they did. JJ, Obi has to be traded if they're committed to Randall long term. I mean, I just think to give him more opportunity. I just don't think he's going to get the opportunity on the Knicks. You know, he's just stuck behind a two-time All-Star, probably soon to be two-time All-NBA player on a team with championship aspirations, right? Trey B. Ryan, Knicks winning the chip. We got ISO and ball movement. Very hard to guard. Jeff Clafter, rhythm if healthy. No need to push it if you are nicked up. I agree. If you're healthy, go with the rhythm. If you're not healthy, you need to rest. Yeah, no doubt. Pudge Nice, RJ will be the X factor in the Cavs series. Got the easiest job. Wow. I don't know. Easiest job, you mean in terms of who he'll be guarding? Yes, smash the like button. Jeff Clafter thought RJ could have played if we needed him. So maybe this is just much needed rest. Was RJ on the bench? I wasn't paying attention. Trav B. Ryan, Pelicans are playing for something. They're going to be scrappy and physical. Rest is the top priority. Yeah, that's going to be a tough game. I think, I think I'm a little more interested in that game if you want to see how our young guys are going to play. I don't even want to say young guys because I don't want to get into the narrative of young versus vets. The Knicks are just a young team overall. One of the youngest in the league, if I'm not mistaken. But I want to see how this team plays without their top three leading scorers against a Pelican team that is really playing for something. I believe they won in overtime against Memphis. So they're playing for playoff positioning. That West Coast standings and playoff positioning is crazy. All right, let's see. Good morning, Kevin. Went, appreciate you. About to make something happen in the playoffs. I hope you're right. I gotta be honest. I don't have a lot of expectations in the playoffs. And this is what I mean. If the Knicks are able to win in the first round, go to the second round, go to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm going to be super duper happy. However, if the Knicks lose in the first round, I don't think I'm going to be super disappointed. I don't. And part of it is because behind Randall and Brunson, you got a lot of young players that you're counting on. You know, are you really going to be upset if they're doubling Brunson and they're doubling Randall and IQ is getting a lot of shots and he's missing them? Are you going to be upset? He's a third-year player. This is his second time in the playoffs. Are you really going to be upset if Grimes is getting a lot of open shots off of Randall and Brunson or IQ or whoever, and he's not knocking them down? Like, are you really going to be upset with him? I'm not. For me, going into the playoffs is an assessment period. You know, I'm just going in to see what we have. I'm going in to see how guys perform. I don't really have a lot of expectations for this particular playoff season. I just don't. I just wanna see. Quiet Money, the ball movement, because there was no player on the court that truly had one-on-one capabilities. Yes, the ball is always going to move when your top players are out. That's a way to get easy shots because you don't have those players to generate shots for you, right? And if you don't have players that could put the ball on the floor and isolate themselves, ball movement is one way to get easy shot. Jeff Clafter, 4th best offense in the league after last night. Yep. And number 1 over the last 10 games. Yeah. Salute, Jarrell. Appreciate you. All right. Let's talk about the top game scorers. Quickly, 39.6 rebounds, 9 assists, 7 3-pointers, 53.8%. Man, quick is quick. Hopefully the Knicks get it done this offseason in terms of signing him. Grimes, 36.6 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 3-pointers, 60.9% from the field. Toppin, 32 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Toppin has some playmaking ability. I like, they were on the break, and Toppin could have easily took the shot himself or tried to make the basket himself. He saw somebody else cutting. He passed it off, for the layup. I just, he just, him and the rest of the Knicks, they play, I hate this term, the right way, in the sense of just making the play you're supposed to play, not forcing it, playing within the flow of the game. Mitchell Robinson. This is what I'm talking about for Mitch. And I get it. You're not going to get 7 blocks every game. That was phenomenal. 14 points, 16 rebounds, 7 blocks, 2 steals. Didn't shoot great from the free throw line, but because of his aggressiveness, he was able to get to the line. Went to the line 7 times last night, right? The Knicks shot 52% from the field, 39% from the three-point line, 64% from the free throw line. They went 25 times to Mason. This is just the Knicks' Achilles heel right now. 3 of your top players out, you're still not shooting well from the free throw line. It hasn't hurt us because we've just been killing it on the offensive end, right? I think our net rating, the difference between our offense and defense over the last 10 games has been 6. Like, just killing it, So free throws and these really tight games, it just hasn't come into play as of late, but it very well may in the playoffs, right? Smith for Indiana, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks. I love McConnell. I just love McConnell. I just wish he was on, the Knicks as the third string point guard. If Brunson gets hurt, now you got to move quickly up. And no shade to McBride, he'll get there. But going into the playoffs, I would feel much more comfortable having a third string point guard who potentially would have to move to second string with a bit more experience than McBride. McConnell, 18 points, 12 assists, not rebounds, 18 points, 12 assists, 2 steals, shot 63.6% from the field. He's not a 3-point shooter, but just a steady guy that's going to play good defense and run the team. Mathurin, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 35.3% from the field. They had 8 players in double figures. And this is what I'm saying in terms of the Knicks defense. They shot 51.7% from the field, 50% from the 3-point line. The perimeter defense wasn't there. So defensively, without our top 3 players, the Knicks played the same. Very good on offense, able to put points on the board, not that great defensively, perimeter-wise, keeping guys out the paint, right? 50% from the 3-point line and 80% from the free throw line. I do want to point out a few more players last night. I want to point out Josh Hart, 6 points, but 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals, and a block in 37 minutes. It's the same story with this guy. I wish he would shoot more, but, maybe he knows that's not his game. He'll give you a 3-pointer here and there. Last night he was 1 for 2 from 3-point land. But in terms of what you're getting, as Ron from Still Knick Fans would say, in terms of ancillary stats, he shows up big. 5 offensive rebounds as well. Isaiah Hartenstein only played 17 and a half minutes, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. This is what I'm saying in terms of being a star in your role, maximizing the time, making contributions across the box score, not just, not just in scoring. Fournier got 11 minutes last night. Jericho Sims got 5 minutes. Miles McBride got, had 13 minutes, 3 points, 3 assists. Yeah. Heart and heart, those two guys on that second unit have been awesome. And obviously quick. That goes without saying. In terms of team stats, what stood out? Some of it we've already talked about. The Knicks out-rebounded them 52-37. We talked about the Knicks having 34 assists on 52 made baskets. Phenomenal. Second chance points, we outscored them as well, 24-16. Points in the paint, 68-54. Fast break points, we talked about this earlier, 28-17. And we talked about the free throw shooting, which hasn't hurt us as of late. And I don't even know if that's something that could be fixed. I guess you could shoot better in the playoffs. I hope that they do. Anyway, before we get to, let's just do the Eastern. I mean, we already know what it is. The Knicks are locked into the 5th seed. Cleveland is locked into the 4th seed. The Knicks will be playing Cleveland in the first round of the playoffs. That will start. The Knicks' first game will be either the 15th or the 16th. I don't think that's been determined yet. Let me check in with the chat one more time before we get into our next game against New Orleans. I appreciate you guys rocking. Salute Shy Powers. Appreciate you, my brother. Jay Hart, the type of dude that just does what we need. A lot of people in the chat have been pointing out, salute Keith Turner, I appreciate you, have been pointing out how the Knicks bench is better than Cleveland. And I think you're right. That's an edge that we have. Obviously that's weakened if we have to move IQ into the starting lineup. But if we don't, and you got IQ and you got both Hearts in that second unit, you got RJ running with that second unit, that's definitely an advantage that the Knicks have. Yeah, JJ, Cleveland has a weak bench. I agree with you. Sean Grimes was dunking last night. Tibbs let him play loose. You think Tibbs has been holding Grimes back? I just think Grimes is just much more confident in his game. And he talked about it afterwards. Much more confident in his game. And he talked about how the players and the coaches encourage him. Angel Torres, I appreciate you. We got my number, 47. No doubt. And it could be 49. Paris Douglas, steals. Those steals are a monster defensive effort. I don't know about shutting the Pacers down. Yeah, okay, whenever they threatened. Okay, I got you. That whenever they tried to make a comeback, the Knicks would respond. I definitely agree with that. And I do think they turned up that defense in the last 5 minutes with the steals. Okay. Pay hard, Jarrell. Keith Turner, IQ needs to get paid this summer, and he will. Pablo M., I appreciate you. Mitch will hurt us in the playoffs. Teams are going to hack him. Well, the games would have to be close enough for them to do that, right? To do a hack-a-shack. I don't know if you think Mitch will command that much attention down the stretch. But listen, if they do, if he does, if they go to that, the Knicks can go small. Well, it's going to be hard to go small with Jared Allen and Mobley. They'll just have to go with Hartenstein. I don't think Hartenstein is that much better from the free throw line. I think Mitch is in the 50s and Hartenstein in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Johnny Davis, I appreciate you. We have some players on this team that think they probably not going to be here and feel this is their chance. I'm looking for a strong playoffs. That's a very good point. LIY's rhythm to me is more important. We got a week off before the playoffs start anyway to rest. That's a good point too. And I wonder, But this will be the same for all teams. That week off can hurt your rhythm as well, right? I think that's gonna be the same for all first round teams, right? The playoffs start the 15. If you're not in the play-in, you're gonna have more days off. And if you're rusty, hopefully that's just one game. Gene Mark, I like rhythm too, but some key players might get hurt. My heart skipped a beat when Obi got nicked. Yeah, but we gotta play somebody. We gotta put a team, out there. Injuries are unfortunate. It's just part of it. Lion of Judah, I appreciate you. Grand Rising, my sister. And good morning to all in the chat. I appreciate that, Lion of Judah. Good vibes. Good vibes. All right. All right. Let's talk about New Orleans, who those in the chat rightly pointed out, Trav B. Ryan, that the Pelicans are playing for something. So they're going to be playing all of their players, and they're going to be looking to win, right? Right now, the Knicks are 47-33, yada, yada, fifth in the Eastern Conference. We've won 5 straight. Over the last 10 in offense, we're number 1 in the league in offense. In defense, we're number 17 over the last 10 games. 5th in net rating, which is the difference between how much we score and how many points we give up, right? So we're plus 6.2. So the defense may not be super great and super tight, but in all honesty, if your offense is great, your defense doesn't have to be that great, right? If you don't have a good offense, your defense really needs to be good because you're not going to be able to outscore a team. So you want to be able to hold them down. What I would like to see from the Knicks is timely defense. That last 5 minutes, or when things get tight and the team is trying to make a comeback, and cut into our lead, or we're behind and we're trying to get back into a game. You need those timely defensive stops, right? That's what I would like to see more from the Knicks if we're not going to be a defensive juggernaut. We've played the Pelicans earlier in the season and we beat them, but again, that was really early. New Orleans 41-39, 8th in the standings. In offense, over the last 10 games, they're 9th. In defense, they're 2nd. They're giving up 107.3 points per 100 possessions, right? The Knicks are giving up 10 more points across those same possessions, right? So this is a really good defensive team, and they're going to be playing their usual starting lineup. I'm not sure if RJ Barrett, is going to be back, but I would be super impressed if we were without Randall and Brunson, even if RJ played and we were able to get this win with a team that has something to play for. I would be super impressed. They're 2nd in net rating. The difference between their offense and defense is a plus 12.2. They've been balling. 8-2 over their last 10. They won their last game. I believe it was an overtime win over the Memphis Grizzlies. I suspect Emmanuel Quickly, as far as starters, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson. Obviously, if RJ Barrett is back, he would start instead of Josh Hart. Projected starters for New Orleans: CJ McCollum, Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy III, Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas. Zion has been out. I think he played like 29 games. He's been out for a long stretch. They're not counting him out for the playoffs, but I would be surprised if he played tomorrow night. Tonight, 9:30, the Just Nicking It show. Me, Jarrell, Stafford Don. I believe Jay Boogie said he'll be on tonight. And then I'll be back Saturday morning for the morning recap show to recap the New Orleans win, I hope. All right, let me just shout the chat out on my way out the door. I appreciate you. If you're already subscribed, that's awesome. If not, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the notification button. I invite you to be a Patreon. That link is in the description to support the channel. I'm also starting my audio podcast. So I'll give you guys, actually it's up and running. I don't have a lot of content. I hope to drop a show today, but it's super busy. And at 12, I'm going to be going on with Freezy, but I believe this is on his audio podcast. So if you want to hear me and Freezy at 12 o'clock, download his podcast. I think it's NBA 360, right? That's the name of it. So we're going back and forth. For right now, every other week, I'm doing it on my channel. Every other week, both of us together, he's doing it on his audio podcast. All right. Shout out to Jarrell, appreciate you. Paris Doug, I appreciate you. Deron Wayne. Cyprian Pinda. I hope I said that right, but salute to you. I appreciate you dropping by. Pudge Nice. Nice, I appreciate you. JJ, Shy Powers, Pablo M, Public Enemy, Paris Dugga, Jalbino 59, Jeff Clafter, Dwayne Dennis, Sean Kearns. I may not get to everybody. Keith Turner, Craig, Ashley Inc., Angel Torres, JJ. I'm not sure if I said JJ, but twice as nice because he always rocking with me. Kevin Witt, McConnell is crafty. Yeah, I like him. D Public Enemy, #1. I think I got to everyone. Gerald D. MacGyver, I appreciate you always rocking with me and the rest of the NBA content creators. If I missed anybody, my apologies. And I'm sure I missed a good comment in the chat. I read them when when the show is over. I always do that. And I'm like, this was a good one. I should have read it. So if I didn't read your chat, it's not personal. I'm the only one here, trying to, man the show. So I appreciate you guys. Until next time.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?